earlier you were accusing me of not being a liberal, and here's what I think my problem is. I'm maybe a little bit too reasonable, where if you want to be a pundit, you have to have a deep, deep commitment to your side. Like Jeffrey Lord, you probably don't know him, but he's one of the more knuckleheaded Trump defenders. Whatever Trump does, he'll come up with a reason that it's okay. And I don't know. I don't think have that kind of, like, I don't think. Would you admit that there's a chance that Obama isn't evil and that he just had policies that you disagreed with?
No, he's evil.
So you've got a deep commitment to your side. I'm willing to admit that we've never had a president like Trump before, and I don't like it, but there may be some things that happen either because of the way he is, or despite the way he is, or that because it may. I've read a lot of science fiction from the 60s that had America eventually having a clownish president who was just a figurehead. And it may be that that's the type of president we're going to have, and that may be okay in certain ways. And I don't know, I'm willing to admit that there may be some fracking that isn't the end of the world. So there's a reasonableness and a lack of. I'm still deeply liberal and deeply upset about a lot of the shit, shit every day that goes on. I mean, I literally have been pooping my pants since Trump. I only pooped my pants once, but and just a little bit at the gym. But I've had bowel troubles ever since he got elected. But that doesn't mean that I can't think that there may be aspects of the current situation that aren't the end of the world, even though I basically think things are terrible.
Okay.
All right. Now, pop quiz.
All right.
Take your time.
All right.
What is 17 times 6?
102.
Yes. Now, we're not talking about whether Trump is smart or not, though Trump will tell you that he's got an IQ among the highest. There's a clip that I saw from Howard Stern from I don't know how many years ago, and Trump is on Stern along with Ivanka and Don Jr. And Stern is going to test Trump's business genius because he deals with money and numbers all day. So he asks Trump, what's 17 times 6? And first Don Jr. takes a shot at it and he thinks about it and he goes 94. And Stern's like, no. And Trump Sr. takes a shot at it and he's like 112. And Stern's like, nope. And Trump says, no, it's 112. So that's the genius that we have as president.
Okay. Well, as I say, there are a lot of things when I was a Cruz supporter that I thought were really funny that Trump said. For example, there was a reporter that asked Trump, lean back a little. Yeah, no, you're perfect. My eyesight's a little bad, so we need to be kind of where we're at. I'm being a little picky with you because, no, you sit back. Perfect. Okay. So anyway, there was a reporter that asked Trump, what do you think we should do about the nuclear triad? And Trump really obviously had no idea what the nuclear triad was. I knew.
What is it, North Korea plus a couple other?
No, the nuclear triad, this is funny, a lot of people don't know what it is. It's in the 1960s, the United States decided that the way it was going to control its nuclear deterrent was to divide it between our nuclear weapons between submarines in the sea, aircraft, the B-52 bomber fleet, and land-based missile silos that would shoot from California or
That makes
Turkey
sense,
or
yeah.
wherever. And the reason is that way, if the Russians figured out how to knock out one arm of the nuclear triad, we would always have another way to confound them so that they couldn't, they would have to be technologically much further along to know how to knock out all three arms of our nuclear triad.
Do you think that people watching this thing, if anybody is, who are younger than us, understand how nuclear deterrence works?
Well, hang on for a second. Now, I need to finish the story.
Okay.
Though. So anyway, now, the reason the reporter asked him that is because our submarines have gotten kind of old and need to be replaced, and we haven't quite made the transition away from B-52s. We're still using them.
Yeah.
And so the idea was that Trump was supposed to know that, and he was supposed to know what a nuclear triad was, that there are three arms that you have to keep powerful. Now, the truth is that since that doctrine was adopted, everybody now has a nuclear triad. I mean, there was a point where all Russia had was land-based missiles. But now everybody has submarines, everybody has a bomber fleet, everybody has land-based. So it's sort of, it's not as amazing that the Americans have a nuclear triad. We just want to have a really good one. We want great airplanes, great submarines, and great land-based missiles that are fresh and new and not old-fashioned missiles, because that is also what happens. Is we have old missiles that have old technology. Now, the point of the story is that when Hugh Hewitt asked him that, he didn't know what he was talking about, and he tap danced a little bit, but it was obvious he didn't know what he was talking about. I knew what he was talking about. So anyway, now, that's not the end of the story, though. 3 months later, Hugh Hewitt asked him the same question at one of the debates, and Trump still didn't know what it was. So not only did he not know...
He didn't do any homework.
Yeah. And then he asked Marco Rubio, and Marco Rubio was like, an encyclopedia of all the nuclear weapons we have and how they're utilized. It was incredible. The guy clearly had done lots of homework and was ready to lead our country. All that to say that I like everything Trump has done. I can't think of anything that he's done that I'm not in total agreement with.
What about the cosmetic stuff, the surface stuff, like the crazy, just like, well, the saying that he got congratulatory phone calls from people he didn't get phone calls, that junk.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just don't care about things like that. I want what I want. I want a strong military. I want him to stop this crazy transgender in the military stuff. I want immigration to be reduced. He's doing that. He actually went to Estonia, of all places. I believe he went to Estonia, or it was Mike Pence.
I don't know. He went to Poland. I don't know if he...
Well, I mean, the fact that an American leader went to a country right on the border of Russia was really sending a message. Hey, you're not going to go west, Mr. Putin, because we're here waiting for you. That was a very strong thing that he did. The appointment of this conservative judge I like. The
What was he gonna,
pipeline.
no, he's a Republican president. How's he not going to appoint a conservative
Well, that's
judge?
the thing. Bush ended up appointing people that wound up being liberals.
What, you think John Roberts is liberal?
Well, yeah. I mean, on the major issues.
Because he didn't entirely scuttle Obamacare?
Well, he not only did he not scuttle it, he found something in the law that said all Americans have to buy insurance, And if they don't, they can be fined by the government, and that's okay.